Yeah, very good evening, my dear friends. And nice, we are back to the subject again. And today we will start discussing about the Articles of Association. As I already told you, there are two vital documents for incorporating a company. And then one is the Memorandum of Association. And we have very elaboratively discussed that. You can get any type of question from the Memorandum of Association. And then now the next document, which is essentially to be filed with the Register of Companies, is the Articles of Association. While the Memorandum of Association is the constitution of the company, the Articles of Association are the rules, regulations, and bylaws of the company. And it is meant for the internal management of the company. And friends, it plays a subsidiary role to the Memorandum of Association. Ashbury Rail Carriage and Iron Company Limited versus Ritchie. The most important judgment we have seen in discussing the Memorandum of Association, where you find that the articles play subsidiary role and articles cannot override the memorandum. This is what we have learned. Same is the case here. You understand that the memorandum tells as the basic structure of the company, the constitution, and then the various activities which the company would be entitled to take up. And then, friends, for reaching the goals to achieve the objects in the memorandum of association, the procedure for running the company, the rules and regulations for internal management, they are all placed in the Articles of Association. If that is also placed in the memorandum, it will lead to confusion. So memorandum tells you the basic structure beyond which the company cannot go. It's ultra virus otherwise. But the Articles of Association tells you as to what are the powers of the directors, their borrowing powers, their power to pledge, hypothecate the mortgage, the properties of the company, and their do's and don'ts, and whether the company would have a manager or managing director, and then the share capital composition, and the right issue, what not, various aspects are covered under this particular Articles of Association. So after a person dealing with this particular a corporate entity, after he understands the basic structure of the company and the area of operation, for internal management, he has to view the Articles of Association and see whether the directors have the power, whether directors are acting within the scope stipulated by the Articles of Association, and they find it is not, then they have to seek an amendment or an action which could be ratified with retrospective effect, unlike the Memorandum of Association in the doctrine of ultra virus, what we have discussed in recent times. So the basic issue is that the Articles of Association covered under section 2, subsection 5, read with section 5, 6, 7, then 10, and then section 15, and then section 17 of the Act. These are all the basic provisions, and section 14 deals with the alteration of Articles of Association. The Articles of Association concept we have to study with regard to its basic structure, with regard to its parts, with the contents and the provisions, and then alteration part. Then followed by the binding force of memorandum and Articles of Association. And further, there are two doctrines, that is the doctrine of constructive notice and the doctrine of indoor management. These are all the two doctrines we are supposed to study further. By that, we'll be concluding our discussion on the second unit of our course. So, friends, we are slowly coming to a close of second unit. And then we will come to first section 2, subsection 5 of the Companies Act 2013, which defines the articles of association. If a question comes on articles, you have to elaborate it by saying it is the rules, regulations, and bylaws for the internal management of the company. The definition part is concerned, it is very simple, it does not describe, and then that is under section 2, subsection 5 of the Companies Act 2013. What does it say? It says articles means the articles of association of a company as originally framed or altered from time to time or applied in pursuance of any previous company law or of this act. The same definition by and large of the earlier, in fact, definition which was given under the 1956 Act. Virtually it is carried here. So it tells the articles as it is named, originally framed either under this act or under the previous act, because there are thousands and thousands of companies incorporated under 1956 Act. So all the articles framed there are valid. Then, friends, the core area where the important provisions here pertaining to articles of association, one by one we will take up for discussion today. In the examination point of view, also this is the order in which you have to make out your answer. You can supplement by studying other articles and then study the company law by Avatar Singh, and you can see the taxman's publication on company law, corporate laws, and then other textbooks. That is up to you. I give you a guidance and I give you a basic guidelines as to how to start off, how to end up, how in between take up, and what is the material supposed to be given. At least you give all this also, you will get 60% definitely. Because the core area I am covering and case law I am covering, sections I am covering. Only thing, this you have to take a notes. I am putting it in YouTube, so obviously you can take a notes also leisurely. And that's the reason why many students are not coming up probably, because they can leisurely see the YouTube. Doesn't matter. Ultimately, they have to get the message, they have to get the knowledge, that's all. And write the examination well. In the existing circumstances, that is the only way. Today, the strength is a little bit good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9, 10 students are there today. That's good. Very well, friends. This particular articles of association further referred to under section 5 of the Companies Act 2013, and some of the important provisions I want to read for the reason that you understand bit by bit what these particular articles mean under these particular provisions. Section 5 subsection 1 speaks of the articles of company shall contain regulations for the management of the company. That is what I told you. It contains the rules, regulations, bylaws for the internal management of the company. Then, friends, subsection 2 says the articles shall also contain such matters as may be prescribed, provided that nothing prescribed in this subsection shall be deemed to prevent a company from including such additional matters in its articles as may be considered necessary for its management. That's what I am telling you. You must understand this is an economic legislation. The Companies Act is an economic legislation. The offenses committed under this Companies Act are tried in the Court of Economic Offenses. There is a separate court called Court of Economic Offenses. And in that court only the offenses are tried. In that regard, you must understand for internal regulation and such additional matters, the company can give any kind of, make out any rules and regulations. It stipulates the outer line, the powers of directors, borrowing powers, and it stipulates the appointment, and then the secretary, what not, every minutest detail can be contained in the articles of association. And then if a particular provision is not there, they can amend the articles with retrospective effect. They can alter, but Memorandum of association can never be altered with retrospective effect. This is the fundamental principle of company law you are supposed to understand. This is called corporate jurisprudence. Then, friends, the next provision, subsection 3 says the articles may contain provisions for entrenchment into the effect that specified provisions of the articles may be altered only if conditions or procedures that are more restrictive than those applicable in the case of special resolution are met or complied with. Necessarily, a special resolution is required to be passed for altering articles. Then further it says the provisions for entrenchment referred to in subsection 3 shall only be made either for formation or by an amendment in the articles agreed to by all the members of the company in the case of a private company and by a special resolution in the case of a public company. So here the alteration, private company, all the members, because the restriction is 200. If it is the case of public limited company, a special resolution, that is with three-fourth voting of the members present and eligible to vote. This is the point we have to understand. Then, friends, where the articles contain provisions for entrenchment, whether made or formation or by amendment, the company shall give notice to the registrar. That's what I have earlier told you, it's a common provision. Then the model articles will be, in fact, you can see the model articles in the form specified in tables F, G, H, I, and J in Schedule 1. It is not necessary that should be copied, but it could be as nearer as possible to them. So that for each kind of company, the articles have been stipulated. Same is the case with memorandum also. In case of memorandum, the tables were specified as A, B, C, D, E in Schedule 1. Here it is from F, G, H, I, J. So ultimately, it is completed now, memorandum and articles of association. A company then, under subsection 7, may adopt all or any of the regulations contained in the model articles. That's what I told you just now. Then, in case of any company which is registered after the commencement of this 2013 Act, and in so far as the registered articles of company don't exclude or modify the regulations contained in the model articles applicable to such company, though the regulations shall, as far as applicable, be the regulations of that company in the same manner and to the same extent as if they were contained in the duly registered articles of the company. They can blindly adopt the regulations also without making any changes. And nothing in this section shall apply to the articles of a company registered under any previous company law unless amended under this particular act. So, friends, prima facie question here is that section 5 of the Companies Act 2013 deals with the provisions pertaining to articles of association and tells that these particular articles are concerned, they are for internal regulation and they can adopt the format in the particular Schedule 1 or it could be independently drafted. Then section 7 once again speaks of the documents to be filed for registration, articles and memorandum, it goes without saying. And then, friends, now the next provision comes to, already told you, section 6 is concerned. The act will override the memorandum and articles. I have already told you. Section 7 is incorporation. Section 10 deals with the effect of memorandum and articles, that it is called, in fact, that is called the binding force of memorandum and articles of association. And then, friends, the next provision is that most important provision is that section the 14. Before I go to section 14 covering the alteration of articles of association, I will deal with one important aspect, that is the contents of articles of association. I think my laptop battery is running low. Give me 1 minute time. I will close and come back to you. Otherwise, stay back. Just stay back 2 minutes. There is some problem. 1 second, I will be back. Sorry. And then, yes, friends. Now the next question is as to what are the contents of these articles of association before we go for alteration. What are the contents of these articles of association? Friends, the articles contain basically the details pertaining to the share capital, the types of share capital, the rights of shareholders, variation of the rights, the payments of commission, issue of share certificates, and so on and so forth. Then the lien on shares, calls on shares, the details on transfer of shares, transmission of shares, forfeiture of shares, conversion of shares, share warrants, share certificates, dividends, alteration, meetings of the shareholders and directors, voting rights, meetings of shareholders and directors, the appointment of a manager and secretary. A company can have either a manager or a managing director, necessarily a secretary. Then the dividends and accounts, capitalization of profits, bonus issue of shares, winding up. So these are all the basic subjects which deal with, in fact, the contents of memorandum of association. And time and again I say, memorandum of association these are all the details. I'm sorry, pertaining to the articles of association. And time and again I say, the articles of association cannot override the provisions of the memorandum of association. And the procedure is concerned, the form, signature, and all that, it should be printed and typed in proper form, and then it should be attested by witnesses. All that is in the section 7 with regard to the filing. So you can go through that. With this background, friends, now I will take you to the alteration of memorandum of association. Now, alteration of articles of association. This particular articles of association again would be altered only by passing a special resolution. And I will explain to you when the permission of National Company Law Tribunal is required and when the permission of National Company Law Tribunal not required for alteration of articles of association. With regard to memorandum of association, I have already explained as to when the central government permission is required. That chapter is closed. Now it is articles of association. Now the section 14.1 says, subject to the provisions of this act and the conditions contained in its memorandum, if a company may by a special resolution alter its articles, including alterations having the effect of conversion of private company into public or a public company into a private company. So prima facie, the articles can be amended to convert a public company into private, a private into public. And what is a public and private already defined under the Companies Act. I told you a company could be a public company or a private company and then a one-man company. That would be obviously a private limited company. We already discussed this subject matter. Then the provision says, provided that where a company being a private company alters its articles in such a manner that no longer it includes the restrictions of a private company, limitations, and then it contains the provisions of the public company, and then it ceases to be a private company, then it will become a public company. Provided that alteration to effect conversion shall not take effect except with the approval of a tribunal. This is the most important aspect. Because the particular conversion of a public company into private shall not take effect except with the approval of the National Company Law Tribunal. Then every alteration, the copy of the order of the tribunal approving alteration shall be filed with the registrar together with a printed copy of the altered articles within 15 days in such manner as may be prescribed thereon in the rules. And any alteration of the articles registered under subsection 2 shall, subject to the Provisions Act, be valid as if it were originally in the articles. That means whatever contracts were entered into with a private company and then conversion of a with a public company and which is now converted into a private company shall not take effect except with the approval of the tribunal, so that that particular contract is concerned, it would be binding. What does it mean? I repeat again. Please see, the articles could be amended by altering and then making a private company into public or public into private. Second point, the company being a private company, when alters its articles, then it would remove all the restrictions as I told you, and it will, in fact, include in the articles the company shall be ceased to be a private company and it will attain, in fact, it ceased to be a private company. But suppose the conversion is a public company being converted into a private company, then it shall not take effect except with the approval of the NCLT. So, most important aspect is that if a public company is going to be converted into private company, NCLT permission is required. If a public company is to be converted into private company, then the article should be amended and then the private company's restrictions would be given there. If it is vice versa, if it is the case of public company converted into a private company, then it will cease to be a public company and then it will become a public company. Then the private company's restrictions would be there. This is the way the articles have to be amended. Naturally, memorandum also will have to be altered thereon. And then, as I told you, the alteration, once approved, will have to be registered with the Register of Companies and fresh certificate of registration has to be applied. Now, the last point is with regard to section 14, subsection 3, very technical and then legally binding. Whatever transactions were entered into by a private company which is converted into public company later on will be binding on the so-called public company. Whatever transactions were entered into by a public company prior to conversion into private company will be binding on that particular converted private company. The contracts are concerned, transactions are concerned, the validity would not be questioned and validity would not go. So this is the most important aspect you are supposed to cover. And then see that the contractual obligations are concerned, they would be binding on this particular companies. Then friends, what are the requirements here? Basically, already the alteration part is concerned. The special resolution aspect we have already seen. Whether it is public company or a private company, unless a special resolution is passed. Memorandum of Association, I told you, Articles of Association, Section 14, necessarily the special resolution has to be passed. There are certain important aspects which I would like to bring to your notice with regard to making alterations to the Articles of Association. What does it mean? Number one, the particular alteration, whatever alteration you make, for example, authorized capital is increased. It is an alteration to the memorandum as well as articles. Directors' powers, it could be. So, if it in a routine way it is done, appointment of directors, all that, it requires ordinary resolution. Otherwise, a special alterations are concerned, only special resolutions are required with 3/4 majority. This is the most important point you are supposed to remember. Then, what are the important provisions pertaining to the alteration? Number one, the alteration must be supported by a special resolution as it is envisaged under section 14. Next, second point, the particular alteration should not be inconsistent with the statute, Companies Act 2013. Then it shall not be in conflict with Memorandum of Association. The next point, the articles can clarify any ambiguity in memorandum, but it cannot override the memorandum. And ultimately, the Act will override both articles and memorandum of association. And further, the particular alteration should not be illegal. I will give you an English case law here. Andrews versus Gas Meter Company Limited. In this case, a memorandum of association provided that nominal capital was 60,000 pounds and then 600 shares of 100 pounds each. Then there is no provision for preference shares. The articles were altered and subsequently preference shares were provided for. Then it was held that this is valid even though there is no provision in the memorandum because there was no prohibition in the memorandum, and further that the share capital is concerned, which has been already stated in the memorandum, so that now this particular amendment alteration is not illegal. In the same way, the other conditions are that the articles of association should not increase the liability of its members by alteration. And wherever approval is necessary, like section 14, I told you, approval has to be obtained from National Control. And whenever articles are altered, it should not lead to breach of contract. And the power of court. Now, this is a very important subject matter for lawyers to understand. Most of you are lawyers. That the court cannot amend articles of association. It is not the job of the court to do so. The court can only declare a clause is ultra vires, but court cannot amend the articles of association. This is the most important aspect. Court has no such power. It can only say it is valid or invalid, but it itself cannot amend. It is only the shareholders body who can amend this particular articles of association. Now the next important thing, retrospective effect. Memorandum of association cannot be amended with retrospective effect. Whereas articles of association can be altered, it is if it is for the benefit of the company as a whole, and then with retrospective effect also. It can be ratified. Memorandum alterations are concerned, it can't be ratified if it is ultra vires. So there is an important citation, Ellen versus Gold Reefs of West African Limited. Most of these cases you find in Sealis company law, I told you already, 1900. It's valid even if it is, in fact, if it inflicts hardship to minority shareholders for the reason that it is viewed as beneficial to the company's interest. Then friends, with this background, we conclude our discussion on the Articles of Association and the contents of Articles of Association, then the provision for procedure for alteration of Articles of Association. Three aspects. Then another important aspect is section 15, that the alteration of memorandum and articles must be notified in every copy of the memorandum and articles of association thereon. And if a company makes any default, then every officer in default, the company as well as officer, will be liable for a penalty of 1,000 rupees for every copy of the memorandum of issued without such alteration. And then this is under section 15 of the Act. So friends, I have now told you about the articles, its importance, meaning, definition. I told you the contents. I told you the legal provisions. Then I told you the procedure for alteration. I told you the procedure for alteration and the need for obtaining permission from Company Law Board under section 14 in case of conversion of a public limited company into a private company, conversion of a public company into a private company. Then the alteration to be carried in articles and memo under section 15 of the Act. Sorry. With this background, dear friends, we conclude our discussion on the Articles of Association, its significance, and the important contents thereon. In tomorrow's session, I will take up the binding relationship of articles and memorandum together, followed by maybe day after or other day the doctrine of indoor management and constructive notice. Sorry. With this, we'll conclude our discussion on Unit 2, and then we'll proceed further with Unit 3 later on. So, any questions? Any questions? Okay. So, I hope it is taken for granted you have understood the subject very well and you have become experts. The sections, have you all got the new Companies Act 2013 latest? At least get the 2020, so that it will carry all 2019 amendments also, which I already circulated. 2020 amendments will be coming soon with regard to penalties and all that. That we will check up, and accordingly, you can familiarize yourself with that. So, thank you very much, and then we'll be in touch with, and then accordingly, we will further take care and then see. Tomorrow we'll meet. Thank you.